launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans.
Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by.
Now, here's JP.
All right, a hearty good morning to you. Welcome to the JP Peterson Show. Brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. Well, it is time for Yankees weekend here in Tampa Bay. That's right, the Bronx Bombers will sashay into Tampa Bay as the Rays are coming off a two-game sweep of the cross-state rival Marlins. Well, we've owned our cross-state rivals this past week, have we not? The Panthers and the Marlins. Great to be with you this morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Whether it's on our YouTube channel, please subscribe to that. On fanstreamsports.com, the app, download the app. You can hear us each and every day. Just tap that app, and that show will start up right from the beginning. Or you can go find whatever part of the show you like. And obviously, we're live on Twitter and on Facebook and on YouTube, as I mentioned. We really appreciate you guys joining us each and every morning as our numbers continue to grow. And, of course, we thank our advertisers for supporting us as well. Nick Geddes from Outkick.com will be along here in just a bit. As we got a good show for you today. Once again, Leo Haggerty's going to join us at 10:45. He's been hanging out at Bucs camp this week at the OTAs. We'll also hear from Todd Bowles. And Devin White had a very interesting press conference yesterday as well. Touched on a lot of subjects. He's going to fix the Pro Bowl, which is good. And we'll hear from him. And we'll also hear from the Rays as well. Kevin Cash will chat about last night's 5-4 win over the Marlins as they take that little two-game sweep there. A lot of interesting stuff happening last night, including the return of Wander Franco and a couple of doubles for him, 2 for 4 last night, couple of runs scored. Did make a critical error in the ninth inning, as did Taylor Walls on a very, let's just say, I would say un-Rays-like, but we've seen a little bit too much of this this year, where the defense has failed them in key situations. And Colin Poche was good last night. He had to get, 5, maybe 6 outs last night in the ninth to get it done, but goes upstairs a couple of times on some really, really big-time fastballs on Aguilar and gets the job done with the bases loaded, and the Rays walk off with a 5-4 win over the Marlins. And Harold Ramirez as well, starting to pound the baseball. A big home run last night. 418 or maybe even more than that, 110 miles per hour exit velocity, just absolutely crushed it. And, the Rays offense, you think about it when they get Brandon Lau back, Manuel Margot was back again last night. He added a little something. So they're starting to catch they're starting to get a little bit more consistency in the offense. Defense needs to be better later on. The bullpen, again, last night was really, really good. J.P. Fireeisen has just been on fire and was really, really good. So we'll get into some more Rays talk as well as we go through the show. But a big win for them and the Yankees coming up. That's going to be a huge series, and we're expecting huge crowds, too, this weekend at Tropicana Field. So I know a lot of the Yankees fans are juiced up because of their start, the best record in baseball. But Stanton now goes on the IL. Their bullpen is starting to hurt a little bit. We'll see this new iteration of the Yankees and see how these two teams match up. The Rays were already talking about it last night. You could see they were kind of, looking forward to it. But it's going to be a fun weekend at the Trop. I'm going to try to head over there and catch a game or two, and I'm sure a lot of you are. I'd be interested to know how many of y'all are headed out to the Trop for this weekend series with the Yankees, because looks like they're going to have some packed houses. And look, we've said this, that Tropicana Field, it sucks. We know that. But when it's full, when there's a full place, when it's a full crowd, I mean, it could be a little, a little laborious getting around and logistically getting in and out of that place. But it does have a really nice energy for playoff games. And when it's full, it will be loud this weekend. And there's a definite rivalry when it comes to the Rays and the Yankees. And this is what sports is all about, right? As a fan, and I know there'll be a lot of Yankees fans there. So let's keep it all, let's keep it all in the up and up, folks. No crazy shenanigans going on here. It's all in good fun, especially with the tenor that's going on in this country right now. It's you got to say that, I think, more than once. It's just sports. Let's keep it to baseball and everybody have a good time and chirp at each other in good nature. But keep it just that way. But I welcome them. I welcome the Yankee fans in because the Rays have kind of had their way with the Yankees in recent years, and it's been fun. And there's nothing more fun to beat your rival with the fans in the house, right? It makes it even more fun when you could do a little bit of good-natured chirping. So you Rays fans, it'll be fun for y'all to get out there and enjoy this, and we'll see how it goes down. I mean, the Rays are 4.5 games out right now behind the Yankees, and obviously it's way too early in the season to be doing scoreboard watching or any of that. But these games now count as much as the ones they're going to play in September, and they got a bunch of them with the Yankees in the next few weeks. I think they got another set of 6 coming up in early June. So we're going to see a lot of these guys in the next few weeks and as the season progresses. So it's fun, and it's what baseball is all about when you get these rivalries going. So I'm looking very much forward to it. I don't know if y'all were watching the hockey last night, but what a game! As we await the winner of the Rangers-Canes series, and they'll be back at it tonight. Definitely we'll be watching that intently, and all of our Lightning players will be watching it as well as they sit back in their hot tubs or cold tubs, as it were, resting and getting ready for the next opponent. Man, we have talked a lot about this. Who would we rather face? Talked a lot about it with the boys yesterday on the golf course, and everybody, it's hard. I mean, you look at there's pluses and minuses to both of these teams. Shesterkin in goal is, he's an MVP candidate. He's been tremendous, but he doesn't have a whole lot of playoff experience, right? So not certainly in terms of what Vasi has done, and it's different. It's different, especially as the rounds go on and everything's get ratcheted up. And don't forget, this is game 6 tonight. Or game 5. Game 5 tonight. And, hopefully it goes 7. And these teams, because every game is another opportunity, and I don't wish this, obviously, but it's another opportunity for somebody to get nicked up. And, this is why winning the Stanley Cup is so damn hard. And it's why it's so important, if you can, to get out of a series like the Lightning did the other night against the Panthers. When you could sweep a team out, these times when you can sit back and relax and recover a little bit are invaluable. And, we'll see what the Lightning can do once they get back at it. But, for an older team like the Lightning are, and a team that's been a little bit nicked up, and I do not expect Braden Point to be back. I don't have any inside information on this at all. It just seems like, in talking to some people, and nobody's, everybody's joking around like, no, we know nothing. We've heard nothing. It's Sergeant Schultz. We know nothing. And it's a state secret. So, but there doesn't seem to be any optimism. He hasn't skated yet. So, to expect him to be back anytime soon, I think would be a little bit too optimistic, but you never know. You just never know. And the Lightning have proven, especially this last round, that they can do it without him. We'd rather do it with him. Obviously, it'd be a lot easier as the tests get tougher. But whether it's Carolina or it's the Rangers, the Lightning are going to start on the road, which, Brian Engblom says this often, and I completely agree. It seems to be a better mix for the Lightning when they start on the road. You get a chance to go out there and steal one, which they usually do, if not 2, like they did against the Panthers. It just seems like a better rhythm for them, and then to get home and play in that way. So that really doesn't bother me at all. But 2 venues in Madison Square Garden and then Raleigh that are really, really tough for them to play on the road. But that doesn't seem to really bother the Bolts. They seem to feed off that. So I don't really care who they play. I just care that this series goes 7. That's all I care about. Don't care who they play. I just want it to go 7. I will say this. I have never been in all covering sports for 30 plus years. I've never been to Madison Square Garden. And that would be a first for me to cover a major event for a sporting event. Been there for concerts and stuff like that, but never for a major sporting event. So I think a lot of Lightning fans, and tickets are going to be ridiculously hard to get, that's for sure, and very expensive. But hopefully I'll find a way. Got some connections, and we'll get up there and kind of enjoy that atmosphere if it is in a Rangers. I've never been to Raleigh, never been to that venue, and man, is it loud. I mean, you could just tell on TV, and Carolina is basically unbeatable there. So a lot of different things. You'll wear yourself out trying to figure out who you would rather play. And at this point, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters to me is that it goes 7 games. And as I watched the game last night with the Blues, oh my God, the Blues go down 3-0 to Colorado last night, and they're down 3-1 in the series at this point, and they're just fighting for their lives. And they come back, scratch a couple, then get to third, and then the Abs come back and score late. I think with like 3 minutes left to go, they come right back and score, and now it's a 4-3 game, and then St. Louis goes with the extra attacker, pull the goalie late in the game, and they get the equalizer and then win it in OT. I mean, my God, talk about getting off the mat, St. Louis. So now the Abs have to extend, and St. Louis gets to go home for another game. And meanwhile, the Lightning are just sitting back, relaxing, and loving every minute of it. So you love
to see it play out this way. You absolutely love to see it play out this way. And right now,
Lightning are kind of in the driver's seat. As we say good morning to Nick Geddes. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I believe you were just getting into some of the NHL action last night.
Yes.
I did get a chance to watch the Colorado-St. Louis game. And
was that crazy? Was that bananas?
Bananas. And the Nathan McKinnon goal.
Oh, my God. I forgot about that.
The third goal.
Holy shit. Have you ever?
Well, I mean, I have. I've seen McDavid do some crazy things. I've seen him do some crazy things. If McDavid's in a tier of his own, McKinnon, Matthews, I mean, from what I've seen right there, I mean, that was the best goal I think I've ever seen the playoffs.
Well, just in terms of the speed, size, the athletic ability, he skated through their entire effing team at like lightning speed, and then just flipped a little backhander over. I mean, it was almost like
he was like through his legs too, was it not?
I think it was.
Yeah,
it was almost like something you see in a movie, right? You'd be like, they'd have to like set it all up. Yet it wasn't a movie; it was real life.
And if you're Colorado,
unbelievable.
If you're Colorado, I don't know how you don't win that game after you wasted that goal. My goodness, we talk about the Lightning's will to win and to never be out of it. I mean, we forget St. Louis was the last team to win a Stanley Cup, not named the Lightning. They got a lot of players with that pedigree, and they said they weren't bothered by that. A lot of teams would have folded after that one.
Yeah.
But I think Colorado might be getting happy feet now because, I mean, 3 straight second-round exits, and now can't put that one away at home. I don't think the series is over.
You mentioned that, a goal like that should lift everybody. Remember the Panthers when Kucherov did that to Ekblad at the blue line? It changed the whole game.
Changed the whole game.
The Panthers just seem to be like, oh, Superman's here now. We're screwed, And that didn't happen to St. Louis. I mean, good on them. I mean, that's a character team right there. That's a hell of a comeback win. You're down 3-0, and then that guy does that to you, and you're just completely unfazed, and you just keep scratching and coming back and getting dirty goal after dirty goal. I mean, that. But again, if you're the Lightning, you're just sitting back with a cigar in your mouth in the hot tub or the cold tub. I could see Patty Maroon with his hat on, just loving every minute of it. Like, all right, beat each other up, boys. We'll be here waiting for you.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Let all these series go 6 or 7. By all means, Calgary, if you want to win one tonight, keep that series going.
Absolutely.
By all means, let's do it. Let's have all those series go 7. Although, as a hockey fan, I started thinking, what a treat if Colorado wins that series and you get the McDavid-McKinnon showdown.
Ooh.
You talk about fast. That's going to be unbelievable. And then if the Rangers win, you're going to get the 2 best goalies in the world, undisputedly, going against each other. And
good point.
Vasilevsky and Shesterkin.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's the matchups right there.
I've always wondered, like, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, because when you look at the on TV product of NHL hockey,
yeah,
and then you flip over to a baseball game, I mean, My God. What a snooze fest.
Specifically a Rays baseball game on a Wednesday night.
Here, a little cowbell in the background, here's a little Joey talking to his mom about tomorrow's homework assignment.
Yeah.
And then you turn it over to the NHL and you're like, wow, it's crazy. And then, flip it over to the NBA and, guys, 17 3-pointers back and forth being hoisted up. I mean, how is this not the best show in television?
I don't know, because to me, this is the most skill the game of hockey has ever seen. You can't convince me otherwise. I mean, that I just can't get over that play. I really cannot get over that play by McKinnon. It doesn't seem real how you can go end like that.
Let's find the audio and see what it sounded like. In fact, we'll take a break right here. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We got Kevin Cash for you. Todd Bowles held court yesterday, and he is Mr. Matter of Fact. We covered a lot of different subjects yesterday, so we're going to play the whole thing with Todd Bowles and kind of get a state of what's going on with the Bucs right here in the OTAs. Lots to get to. Stay with us. Quick break. Back in a moment on the JP Peterson Show. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage no lender fees like the big boys do. You will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on Fan Stream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back. JP Peterson Show brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. If you've built a home in the past 10 to 15 years, a lot of substandard stucco work was done with some bad product from China, and a lot of folks are having issues with it, especially in the Tampa Bay area. So check your home out. If you got cracks on the side, there may be some water damage in behind there that you can't just see right now. How do you know? Well, call Christopher Palermo. Go to his website, get all the information, send him an email, set up a consultation. It's absolutely free, 100% free to find out if you have a case, and many of you probably do. So Don't delay because the damage just gets worse as the hot summer goes on and more moisture gets in there. So he'll be able to tell you exactly what to look for and if you have a case, and it's a free call. So just go to the website, PalermoPA.com, and contact them there and tell them JP sent you. All right, do you have that Nathan McKinnon audio? By the way, hat trick and 4 points last night if you needed that. And you wasted it, as you said. But still, as absolutely breathtaking a goal, I think, as I've seen. And they had that ice level perspective they showed in the replay that was just so cool. It was like almost from like ice level on the glass from end to end, and you could just see that gave you a perspective of just how freaking big and fast he really is.
Yeah, here's the call here from TNT last night of the goal.
McKinnon has 2 in the game. He's flying into the zone. Nathan McKinnon, the drive, and he scores!
Unbelievable. Bench goes nuts. Look at that crowd.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a passionate hockey crowd.
Now, where do you get that? Like, you don't see that anywhere, hardly anywhere. Maybe college football. I don't know.
I mean, look at the hats everywhere. People are in the third level and they're just throwing their hat into the first level for no reason. I mean, just F it at that point. My goodness. I mean, if you haven't seen this goal, please go out of your way to watch it. I honestly cannot probably think of a goal better that I've seen than that one.
I saw there was one earlier this year that McDavid did too at full speed that was just breathtaking. But in this situation, to get a hat trick in an elimination game at home, I mean, he just like that's just a dude going, all right.
He's like, move out of my way.
He's like, I'm taking this from my end line. And I just get the F out of the way. I'm going to go score now. I mean, it was just, it was almost like the Blues were like, just looking at him like, okay, what's he going to do next? Or where, like nobody went to hit him, or maybe they just couldn't catch him. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how you defend it. I really don't. I can't find
it's kind of like Giannis going to the hoop, when he gets a full head of steam.
Yeah.
Except it's hockey and he's on skates.
You got to win that game. You cannot score that goal and lose that game at home with that crowd in a series clinching game. No, you cannot do it.
So you think St. Louis now has the upper hand?
I think St. Louis.
I think they go home and win.
St. Louis without Bennington is tough to win there with Ville Husso in net.
Yeah,
but they're the last team to win a Stanley Cup, not named the Lightning, and I think we've lost sight of that. The fact that they have a lot of those same players still there. So, and Colorado has not gotten out of the second round in the last 3 years with this absolutely loaded team.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's all mental. And you go up 3-1 at home. The cup was there. You up 3-0 in that game as well. Let's remember that.
Yeah.
Can't lose that game. Doubt's got to start creeping in. Now you got to go to St. Louis.
That's a crusher.
That is a big time crusher.
So you go to St. Louis and it's the seed St. Louis just wills themselves to a win. So you got to come back in a game 7.
Yeah.
With all that negativity in your history. So this is why what the Lightning has done has been just absolutely so incredible. Absolutely so incredible. All right, let's get to the Rays if we can. Got a win last night, 5-4 over the Marlins. They're now 26-17, 9 games over 500, and on pace to win 98 games. Does that seem like I'm watching the games every night? Does that seem like the team we've been watching? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little hard on the guys. Maybe I'm just I watched last night, 2 errors in the 9th. It's just so sloppy at times. But they're getting the job done. They're getting the job done.
We said the Lightning were the Tampa Bay findaways. I think you have to put the Rays in that kind of category as well. They just find ways to win. It's as simple as that, to be honest with you. It doesn't look pretty at times. I said yesterday, the Rays defense especially is like just one continuous roller coaster.
Yeah.
I mean, one day they're making amazing plays. And then last night in the 9th inning, you're getting an errant throw by Taylor Walls, which his defense, he came in. I thought he was like one of these generational shortstops.
Yeah.
His defense this year has left a lot to be desired.
Yes, very
and
much
then
so.
Wander Franco, he's done that a few times where he just kind of sailed it a little bit too far left of G-Man Choi, I believe it was over there.
I think Yandy was playing.
Or Yandy.
And I know that it was Franco's, or I don't know which one bounced. Was that Taylor's?
That was Taylor, yeah.
And I know BA said like, "Oh, that's a tough hop." I was like, I mean, how much does it? We talk about this all the time. We put anybody at first base. And I'm not saying Yandy and G-Man are horrible, but they're not. They ain't Don Mattingly. That's for damn sure. It's a great first baseman. It really, really makes your infield a lot better. And those guys need to make those throws. And they weren't, I don't know. They weren't easy plays, but they weren't super tough plays either. So sometimes a first baseman can bail you out in those situations, but that didn't happen. But how about, Colin Poche nutting up against Aguilar and just blowing it by him at 95 miles an hour up in the zone, having to get 5 outs in the ninth inning. Hats off to that guy. He gives up 2 runs, and I think they got 1 ball out of the infield. So
I'd love to see the Rays go with if I had to point out something, I'd love for them to have a consistent closer. And I know that's wishful thinking because that's not the way the Rays operate, kind of having somebody back there. I think Kittredge kind of was that guy, but now with him on the IL, you're kind of just throwing whatever out there. I'm not a fan of really seeing Whistler and Poche necessarily in a tight game in the 8th and the 9th. That's just me. JP Fireeisen still has yet to give up a run. I'd like to see him get more opportunities.
Been tremendous
in the back
and
end.
Watching him last night, his shit was unhittable.
Yeah, he's
working that ball right to left, left to right, and same arm angle. And you can't tell what the hell's coming with this guy. And he's burying it down and into the right-handers. He's really, really good right now. So 21 appearances without a run.
Yeah. I think he's given up 1 unearned run, if I'm not mistaken, and that's about it for JP Fireeisen. But yeah, 9 games over 500, and the key, you just got to keep picking up series wins. I didn't like how I think they blew away a chance to sweep Baltimore, to be honest with you. And we should be talking right now being 12 games over 500 going into New York. Yep. But this is a huge series that begins tonight, and I think you're getting the Yankees at kind of the right time. I think you are. They have so many injuries in their bullpen. Giancarlo Stanton just went on the IL this morning. They dropped that series to Chicago, I believe. I think they're getting them at a good time here. And this is a chance to flip the AL East around a little bit.
Yep. I mean, look, you take 3 or 4, you send a message. Look, the Yankees can put some distance in between the Rays here too.
On the converse, they can.
Yeah. I mean, and which is something you don't want to see happen. But you could just tell by, and we'll hear some of the sound today, that the Rays are looking forward to this. They really are. This is when they're at their best.
And I'm telling you, their lineup slowly but surely is starting to come around. You kind of look at some of the averages, you look at the numbers. The lineup's not looking as anemic as it did 2-3 weeks ago.
What are we going to call him? Hey Ram? I don't know,
but he crushed one yesterday.
You got that one?
Yeah, I'll pull it up here.
That was a bomb. Bomb. And that blue hair he's got working, he's a character.
He is a character. He just feels like a Ray.
He does.
He really is a Ray. He fits in here very well.
I mean, he certainly does not have the body of Aaron Judge or Giancarlo Stanton, and I kind of like that, to be quite honest. He's a beefy boy, and he used it last night to great effect. Here we go. Listen to this contact.
Harold Ramirez with a man in scoring position, and he drives it high.
Wow.
And deep and gone. Home run for Harold Ramirez.
Hey, Ram. He admired that one a little bit too, didn't he? Did the shortstop say something to him right there? Roll that back a little bit. I thought I saw it last night when I was watching the game. That he admired it a little bit. What? See what the little cutaway. Yeah.
A little smile. Ooh, I don't know.
What was that?
Is that Rojas? I think, yeah. You can see him right there. Harold's laughing.
Yeah.
Rojas isn't laughing too much. No.
He said something, didn't he?
Said something.
Yeah, because hey, Ram admired that one. And well, he should.
Oh, come on. He should admire it.
Yes. Can you hit a ball like that?
A ball like that?
Hell yeah, you should. Damn right. Admire that thing, man. That's a piece of work right there, brother. Let's hear that smack again. I love the sound of that.
Harold Ramirez with a man in scoring position.
Whoa.
And he drives it high and deep and gone.
And
Harold Ramirez.
Franco got a couple of knocks yesterday too. Got a couple of doubles. So let's hope that's starting to work a little bit.
Yeah, I think I saw Topkin had said before the game that he noticed that Franco looked a little bit more like himself, at least in pregame warmups, I guess.
Mhm.
He's obviously at every game, so he can kind of tell those things. So whatever it is, it worked. He gets the 2 doubles last night. We were surprised he didn't go on the IL. We kind of thought they were trying to make it through this Yankee series before doing anything. But I guess cross your fingers with him.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers right now. But Harold Ramirez with the blue hair, by the way.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Talk about coming in and being ingratiating yourself into this team. When you get blue hair, I think you're all in.
You're
all in.
You're all in.
And another signing or an acquisition that I don't even know if we even mentioned it until literally like a week after it happened.
Well, it was like
so low key.
Well, it was like the consolation prize.
Yeah, I think we were waiting on the
your-
Freddie Freeman pipe
Your
dreams.
dalliance with Freddie Freeman.
Yeah,
and all the rest of those guys that you thought you were going to get. Surprise.
I want to do some
You got the consolation
quick
prize.
research. Let's
But
see.
again, he turns out to be, what's he hitting, like 348 now?
I don't think it's not that high, but hold on. I'm doing a little on here comparison between Freddie Freeman and Harold Ramirez this year.
No way.
Because I haven't heard much out of Freddie Freeman, if I'm being completely honest with you here.
Yeah, he's had a couple, but it took him a while to get his first knock. I think the first home run.
Harold Ramirez hitting 287 right now. The OPS 726, respectable.
Yeah.
Freddie Freeman hitting 297 with a 849. So it's still Freddie Freeman, but not that far off. Not that far off.
Well, and in
Trying to look on the bright side here.
And in the Rays metric that they always lead in, production per dollar, when you compare the two salaries,
not even close.
what you're getting, not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close. So once again, Stu's wallet wins again. But it also we can also say Hey Ram is not tracking down balls at first base and making infielders look better than they are.
No, but I'm glad he's in there. He got in there against righties now. He was only in there against lefties, so we hardly saw him.
Yeah.
And I think Kevin Cash is like, I'm just going to put him in there. He just rakes against everybody. So I'll love to see. Also, a quick note on this Yankee series. Garrett Cole, he's scared. He is scared. He's dodging. He is dodging that Sunday matchup against Shane McClanahan. He is dodging it.
What do you mean he's dodging
He was
it?
supposed to start on Sunday, and then all of a sudden he's moved up to Saturday. He flipped with Luis Severino.
Really?
I think he's scared. He doesn't want to be the
Really?
second best pitcher in Tropicana Field on the mound that day. I think he's scared.
Really?
We could have had a Sunday matinee, a game I'm considering going to. We could have had Garrett Cole, Shane McClanahan, and he ruined it.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide whether it's golf on Sunday or the matinee, because I got the Wilson Band concerts that night at Janice Landing, so I could make a whole day of St. Pete right there. Ooh, that sounds attractive.
Still gonna have Severino on the mound, who's
Yeah.
been pitching very well.
Yeah.
So still a really good matchup.
What are the
for a
matchups, by
matinee.
the way?
The Rays are TBD tomorrow, so I assume that means an opener
Mhm.
against Nestor Cortez, who's been one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Really, really good. Yeah.
And then you get Springs and Tyon on Friday, Kluber and Cole, so some Cy Young winners there,
Yeah.
and then McClanahan, Severino. So pretty good matchups.
And all different game
around.
times too, right?
I believe so. Tonight's probably the standard
6:40.
6:40.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Is tomorrow different than 6:40?
I think it is. Yeah. For
Might
some
be,
reason, I just clicked in my head.
Yeah, but I'm focusing on that Sunday, especially if maybe it's like the Rays are up 2-1 in this series going into Sunday with a chance to win it.
Right.
Or maybe they're up 3-0 with a chance to win it. The Trop's going to be rocking this weekend.
It is.
This is the series to get to. If you're trying to go to a game,
Memorial Day weekend.
I know it's going to cost you a little bit, but you know what? I think it's worth it for this series.
In this season, in this series, yeah, it's worth it. Like, I don't ever think there's a $40 outfield ticket at Tropicana Field that's worth it. That's complete bullshit. But yeah, I mean, for compared to other games and other series, yeah, this you got two of the best teams in baseball. There's obviously a rivalry factor, and as I mentioned earlier, there's going to be a lot of Yankee fans there. Everybody be respectful, chirp your head off, but just be respectful and nice, and let's not get crazy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun, but you want the Rays to go out and play good baseball, and if they get their ass kicked, it's going to be. But I don't expect that at all. You got some cash for us?
Yeah.
Give on cash. Let's
at the end there with
playoff
Colin
beard
Poche.
working
Obviously,
himself.
not an ideal situation for him to put himself in, but nice to see him get out of it there. And
Yeah, I mean, he didn't put himself in it. There were about 4 other people that did. Colin really stepped up in a big way. We put all kind of pressure on him. He just kept throwing strikes, stayed within himself, and picked us up in a big way. I mean, going into that inning, the 5 runs was probably the highlight, but Colin's effort was certainly changed that.
So now an easy situation to go into. Big first inning, 8 men go to the plate. You score 5. How crucial was that inning, considering hits did not come as easy as you
Yeah,
might
I mean,
want
look,
to?
I don't know what they were planning on doing with Poteet, but figured it was going to be some sort of a bullpen day. We've learned over a couple years now those are challenging. Hitters just can't get in a rhythm. I think we were fortunate to get the runs early, and then they mixed and matched kind of the rest of the ball game once he came out, and it makes sense why the bats kind of went quiet.
And Drew, only the second time this year, I think he's given up more than 2 runs. What did you see from him today?
I thought the Marlins they grinded out there at bats, drove his pitch count up. I mean, he had a couple. A lot of foul balls, a lot of 3-2 counts. He was frustrated with himself. I really don't think he did much wrong. I think you got to credit the Marlins for having some good at-bats and getting some big hits when guys got on base.
Wander smile there, a couple doubles early in the game.
Yeah, that was encouraging. We got a couple guys that Wander being one that it just hasn't been coming easy for him to get the double in the first and then rifle the ball there the second at bat, I think, for the other double.
You get a little string going of guys hitting homers against their former teams.
Yeah, who was it that said it the other day? Oh, AJ said it about Paredes doing it. I don't know. Maybe there is something to that. I hope it doesn't happen to us.
The former team thing is real.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he might be right.
Harold had none, and then he has 2.
Yeah.
And what happened with the ump? He left with back issues. Is that
Yeah, he was in a lot of pain. Scott Berry's a good umpire, and he was getting treatment before the game, just locked up on him and couldn't move.
What did that ball Soler hit? You jumped right out of the dugout. Were you thinking they had called home run? What did you kind of see there off Fire Horizon?
Well, they did call home run. Yeah, I thought it was foul.
Okay.
Yeah, I was very confident from my view that it was foul.
It seemed like they changed the call on the
Yeah.
field. Though.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so
Yes.
they went from fair to foul and then confirmed the foul.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the confusion.
Yeah.
I know you've always had faith in Colin and such, and anytime he's out there, but to have him in the 9th like that come through to get his first save of the year and close out that game.
Yeah, I mean, that's surprising, though, as well as he's thrown the ball for us this year, that's his first. I would imagine if it lines up, he'll have more opportunities, but we've got a lot of confidence in those guys, and Colin has really, really thrown the ball well for us this year.
You have Margot and Yandy both back. Margot's defense as much as anything.
Yeah. Without a doubt, both of them they really help our lineup. I mean, to just think that you got Manny who's hitting 8. That he's probably not an 8-hole hitter. He really lengthens out our lineup.
A lot of interesting stuff there from Kevin, but look, this team's getting healthy again. Just in time for the Yankees as they're back going the other way. So. That's good news.
Yeah, and a listener just pointed out, too, I forgot about this. DJ LeMahieu also recently just went on the IL.
Oh, that's right.
So you're really dealing with an injured Yankee bunch. So like I said, the Yankees have gotten out to a really, really hot start, but they have not played the highest level of competition. In the next 2 months here in the summer, they're getting probably the meat of their schedule. And of course, they're getting injuries. You have the yearly tweet of Giancarlo Stanton going on the IL. We always know that's going to happen.
Of course.
And at some point, Aaron Judge is going to cool down. He has to, because he's just on some rabid pace right now. He's going to cool down at some point. And the Rays, as long as you could stay healthy, they're going to be in it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be a fun series. And I think the Rays are just, I don't want to say peaking at the right time, but there's probably is. I mean, they got a lot of pitchers that they could get back as this season goes on. They got a lot of arms that are on the sideline right now. So, and
I believe Shane Bass threw another AAA outing I think it was yesterday, the day prior. I think he went 48 pitches, gave up just 1 hit again.
Yeah.
And I think there were several major leaguers who were in that lineup in AAA for Chicago, I want to say. So again, he probably, maybe after this New York series, he gets a call back up to the bullpen into the rotation, and you're not doing the opener anymore.
And that just makes your bullpen deeper as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of good things happening for the Rays right now. As much as we, when we watch them on a day-to-day basis, we see kind of all the warts,
Yeah.
But when you look at the overall numbers right now, I think there's probably a lot of people from the outside going, damn, here they go again. And Drew Rasmussen last night was good. He just kind of lost his if you want to cue up his interview, it's kind of interesting. Just kind of lost his mental focus a little bit. He even admitted, he said, I was soft because I think it was the second or third inning, he walked a couple guys, and then he said it kind of carried over. Let's listen in.
Just talk to Kevin Cash about your performance. I guess it's just the second time this year you've given up more than 2 runs. How did you feel out there?
I felt all right. I got a little frustrated with myself after the second inning, and unfortunately, I think the third inning was kind of a byproduct of that. I mean, just threw too many pitches in that second inning. And I mean, walks, you guys know me. I don't like walks and walk back-to-back guys. that can't happen. You got to make them put the ball in play. We have too good of a defense to not force them to hit their way on base. And then, all credit to them in that third inning. They took advantage of mistakes. They took advantage of good pitches too, quite frankly. I thought I made a couple good pitches. The Anderson single, I think Anderson had the single. I thought that was a really good pitch, and he stayed through a breaking ball really well. Soler hit a cutter, which, I don't think's been hit for damage a whole lot this year, and he drove it out of the park. And so, it's just one of those things where, like I said, I was frustrated in the second inning and then came out and they took advantage of me.
You mentioned the second inning, those 2 walks, but how impressive. You guys looked a little pumped there with that play to end the inning from Mejia to Wander.
Frankie's got a bazooka back there, and so I'm always happy when he gets to show it off. And he did. He was ready. He was on his toes, and it looked like he'd practiced it 1,000 times, and he was anticipating what could happen. And so I didn't really know exactly what happened. I saw him let it go down to second, and it was just one of those things where those 2 were on top of it, and they really bailed me out of a situation right there. So that's just one of those things that you can't take for granted, and that's a great play.
So really more the frustration was more with yourself, not with your stuff or your location or anything.
I guess we want to talk about walks. I guess location is exactly what I was frustrated about. And so it's just one of those things where, I thought my stuff was really good today. I thought my job of swinging and creating some weak contact. And so to not be in the zone is terrible. It's one of those things. They did string together some good at-bats where they fouled a lot of pitches off and that kind of thing. That's going to happen. But to not make them earn getting on base, that can't happen.
The double play to end the 5th, too. Just pitch count was getting up there. Guys were up in the bullpen. Just how important was it?
Like I said, our defense is really good. And if you force the ball in play, a lot of good things can happen. And so, Soler, Frankie came in after that third inning and you just said, hey, man, your cutter's not cutting quite as much as what it normally does. Like, let's stay focused and let's have it come out right. And so, Soler hit the cutter out in the third inning, and then that was the same pitch we went back to turn the double play, which is a real positive. It's just one of those things where you just can't lose confidence in it. It's been so good for a couple months now that kind of scrapping it's not really an option at this point. And so it was great to see same pitch get exact opposite results, which is exactly what we were hoping for.
Like a good cue from Mejia then too, right?
Yeah, he's on top. Our guys are so good back there. I can't give them enough credit because they do. I don't know if it's just the honesty, the brutal honesty, which is something I love. It's something I respect. The ability to see what's going wrong and then have the ability to communicate and get out in front of that stuff is huge.
The frustration you talk about from second inning to third, how difficult is it to try to wipe that out in between innings?
I told Snides after my outing, I was soft in that third inning. It's just one of those things, just a little bit of toughness and just, wiping the slate clean. It's a new inning, right? And nothing ended up happening in that second inning. And so, to allow that frustration to kind of roll over into the third inning mentally, it's just soft.
Excited to see the Yankees, curious to see how you guys measure up with the Yankees, looking forward to it.
Oh, super excited. It's always a fun series with those guys. They're playing really good baseball right now, and they have been for the entire year. And so it'll be a good test for us. And I think we're a really talented team with, a lot of upside. And so I'm really excited for them to come to town.
There you go, right there. He's an interesting interview. Very, very cerebral. It's interesting. The Rays, not only when they scout guys, do they get guys with, great spin rates and be able to maximize what they do best, but they also seem to get guys that are really, really freaking smart. They can, like he said, self-adjust, self-diagnose and make the adjustments when you have to.
Yeah, I think, talent obviously is a part of every evaluation, but the Rays, the way they kind of run things, they have to look beyond the talent a little bit. What can they unlock in you? What's behind, what's in your head? What's behind, And they find that with so many guys, and specifically him, turning him into kind of a starter here after he was really just a hard-throwing reliever in the minors who was killing it, if you recall, last year. Get him in that Willie Adames trade, I believe. And I mean, that's worked out for Milwaukee. But if you're the Rays, you got a nice number 3 starter, maybe a number 2 starter out of that. I mean, for a guy you weren't going to have around anyway. Again, we talk about all the time. The Rays, just stop trading with the Rays. Stop doing it.
Well, they got Willie Adames. It worked out.
That's what I'm saying. It worked out for them. But for the Rays, I don't want to. For the Rays, Willie Adames was just a luxury at that point.
Yeah. I mean, clearly they had people behind him,
and he couldn't hit here.
Yeah.
He admitted it.
Yeah. It is what it is, and we hope that Wander Franco doesn't have to leave this place because he can't run on the carpet. But it's funny. I was listening to the Rays game on the radio yesterday for a little bit, and they have a radio commercial in there for Shaw Fields. I guess obviously they traded out some commercial time for the field that they have. I guess it's the same point, and they actually run. It's an issue. I mean, it's an issue. If Wander Franco is going to say, "Look, I know you hate when I rip the trop, but when your future superstar has issues with his legs at 21 years old because of the crappy trop field, maybe something that you want to get rid of that promotional arrangement you have with Shaw Fields." Or whoever the hell it is.
No, I hate when people berate the trop for no reason.
Like
you told. Well, you're the king of that.
Well, did I not give you a reason?
No, I get
that's kind of a big reason.
I don't even mean that. I mean like the little nitpicky things that people do.
Oh, like they used to allow outside food, and now they don't anymore.
Let me watch batting practice. I can't go to the game now. I can't take my popcorn into I have to buy it myself. Evil stew.
Evil stew.
Are you watching a baseball game or what? Are you going to watch the baseball game or what?
By the way, a little inside stuff here. Manfred came in town, reportedly did not speak to Stu or any of the local officials about a new stadium, which I just think is just unbelievable. And I contacted some of the officials, and they were like, "Yeah, we were. We had no idea. We were very surprised."
Who, the Rays?
No, the local city officials.
The local city officials
are just like, "Yeah, well, yeah. What are we doing here?" Like, it's kind of a big deal.
And I believe
we probably should have stopped by for 30, 40 minutes.
He came into town to do a lot of things too, if I recall the list of things he was here for. But I guess,
and how is the new stadium not at the top of the list?
I guess the Rays, which I mean, the MLB wants to expand, and they're telling you that they can't expand until they figure out this in Oakland. But again, your actions say otherwise, my friend.
Not important enough. That's a weird deal. Like, something's going on there. Like, is it because of the lawsuit? He doesn't want to talk to Stu because something's coming. Is he not going to talk to Stu? Is Stu mad at him still for scrubbing the sister city plan that was never going to work? That doesn't look good. What is that?
A Carnival cruise
fire
ship.
At sea.
Carnival cruise ship that left Florida catches fire while docked in Grand Turk.
Oh,
there
okay,
you go.
Man. Attention passengers. All right, quick break. When we come back, Leo Haggerty's going to join us. He's been out at Bucs OTAs. A lot of chatter from Todd Bowles. We'll hear from Todd Bowles as well. Stay with us. Quick break. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem. Active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, let's check in with our good friend Leo Haggerty, who's been hanging out with the Bucs and Todd Bowles and everybody over at One Buck Place. What's up, Leo? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine, JP. How about yourself?
Yeah, tough week for this country, my friend, and
oh God, don't.
Yeah, it's hard to hard to talk about sports sometimes, but we move on.
Yeah, and being a former teacher, believe me, my heart goes out to them, and it's just it's a no-win. If somebody comes into your school with body armor, fully armed, and willing to die, it's not a matter of if somebody's going to die; it's just how many. Yeah. And that's just the nature of the beast. And the only way we can stop that is to get rid of these assault rifles. That's it, because it's everybody talks about the Second Amendment. Well, that was written when you had a musket, and that's when there was no police force on the frontier. So, but they got to get that out of the hands of the civilians.
I'm trying to figure out how this kid got 2 AR-15 rifles. He works at Wendy's, and all this ammunition. I mean, most people, rich guys I know, are having a hard time finding ammunition. Yet this guy, I mean, there's so many unanswered questions. I understand from your standpoint. I don't get the whole assault thing. I really don't. Don't understand the laws as well as I should. But to me, this is a lot about what's going on in this country in terms of young males, and this kid evidently spent most of his time playing Call of Duty. Have you ever played Call of Duty? Have you ever seen it?
I've seen it, but I don't get into video games.
Yeah,
but
it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Well,
they sit there and kill literally hundreds of people a day, and it desensitizes them to real human beings. And I'm not saying this is the only problem here. There's so many issues that we're talking about here, but it's the weapons. It's what's going on in this country with young men. It's a lack of a father in the home. It's a lack of civility. It's a lack of taking God out of everything, including the schools. There's so many issues that we have with things that have changed over the last 30 or 40 years in this country, and there is no one simple solution. None of it. I mean, telling bad guys get guns, and it's awful. It's so fucking awful. It makes me crazy. And you as a teacher, I know, I can't even imagine what teachers, what can they do? What can they do?
Hey, JP, we do what we can, and I'll tell you what. I don't know if you saw what was coming out, but those two teachers put their body in front of their.
Of course
kids.
they did. Of course they did.
And that's what drives me nuts. Is people say, well, teachers don't care. They're just in it for the money. They're in there. You know what? These are their kids, and it's not on my watch. It's not going to happen now. And God love them. They do it. They're not going to get rich. And
that's for sure. No.
But JP, a quick story, real quick. I ran into one of my former students from 32 years ago at Lato, and at Sam's. And at the end of our conversation, he goes, "You taught me well." That made my day.
Yeah.
And I put that up on my Facebook page. I said, "I don't think you understand that unless you were a teacher." And one of my teacher friends put back, "Oh yeah, you're exactly right." I mean, it makes it worthwhile when somebody comes back and says, "You did a good job."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of the most important jobs in our society, and yet we treat it and we pay it like it's certainly not commensurate to the importance level of what it is in our society. So much of it's screwed up, man. We need to almost start over, partner. But anyway, let's move on to the trivial world of Buccaneer football, my friend. What are some of your observations out there while you've been out there?
Well, you know what, JP, it is a mass gathering of people trying to get as many reps to players who are not going to get it once minicamp and training camp shows up. They are doing a wonderful job of finding out what these guys have in terms of, without, the gun going off or the bullets flying. They're seeing what they actually have. And then to Todd Bowles' credit and the coaching staff's credit, that's what you want out of these OTAs. You don't need Tom Brady there. You don't need a lot of players there that, Devontae, he's going to play. These guys are going to play. Some of them show up, which is nice. Vita Vea was there. Shaq Barrett was there. And, Devin White showed up, which is nice.
Yeah.
But you want to get these guys that are not going to see a lot of playing time, as many reps as you can. And that's what we're seeing now.
Yeah, and anybody out there, I saw a little video of Logan Ryan. I saw a little video of some of the new guys. Anybody catch your eye just in terms of their athleticism?
Yeah, Logan Ryan, absolutely. Athleticism. I'll tell you what, Anthony Nelson's in a contract year. He looks like he is really ready to roll. And that's just, looking at it from as Lovey used to call it, underwear football.
Yeah.
Which it's hard to get an idea of that, but what you are seeing, and again, I think the guard Gothi comes as advertised. He's going to Ngokeke or whatever, however you pronounce that. Yeah. He comes as advertised. He's a mean guy, which is what you want on the offensive line. But I'll tell you what, we had a chance to talk to Shaq Mason yesterday. He's a physical specimen.
Yes, he is.
He comes out.
Yes,
he's
he is.
A big man.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most underrated acquisitions of the offseason. I really do. I mean, when Nally Marpet retired, it just left there quite literally, a huge hole in that offensive line. And to be able to plug it up with the guy who was rated 5th in the league by PFF, for a 5th round pick was just ridiculous. I mean, Jason, that was the move of the year for me, for Jason Light.
Yeah, the only thing I wonder about Chase is Belichick never gives up on guys that unless he knows something you don't know. Usually you get a year out of him. But after that, there's something goes on. But you know what? Every now and then the hoodie makes a mistake, and I hope this is one of them.
And more recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny though. I asked Shaq Mason. I said, "Did you ever think you'd line up and look to your left and see number 12 under center again?" He goes, "Nope, didn't think so, but it's a nice thing."
Oh, I was going to say, to that point, if you recall, I believe, 2013, 2014, thought Bill Belichick might have given up on Logan Mankins, and he gave him to the Bucs for Tim Wright, who was a Bucs backup tight end.
Yep.
And I believe Mankins went on to make the Pro Bowl in 2014. So I don't think Bill's always right, and I think you can kind of go off some of his curious decisions the last 2 years. I don't say the game's passed him by, but he's I feel like he's scrambling without Tom Brady a little bit.
I don't think there's any question about that, Leo. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Look at his drafts.
It's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and Joes. And, you know, I think he gave up on Brady a little early, but let's be honest, guys. We're talking about a 43-year-old quarterback. He's an anomaly right now. You have nothing to look at and say, oh, George Blanda. Well, guess what? That was 30, 40 years ago, and he was a kicker. So, yeah, this is a whole different they're into uncharted territory with this, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you go back and look at Brady's last year there, his arm strength never dropped off. The people were saying that, but that was just ignorant. If you look at the tape, everybody's looking at the age number and say, well, he has to. Well, you know, if you're still judging Tom Brady by everybody else's numbers and history, well, you're a fool. And I think Belichick whiffed in a big way. Hell, he wanted to move on from Brady 6 years ago.
With Garoppolo.
Yeah. So I don't,
Absolutely.
I know Belichick has thought of it as this wizard and always gets rid of a guy, you know, a year too early instead of a year too late. You know, I think that's a myth now. And I'll take Shaq Mason every single day for a 5th round pick. So what did you, and him at the podium, what did you gather from him as a, you know, just the way he spoke and where his mind's at right now?
Well, he really didn't have to be in here. And, you know, we asked him, you know, welcome to Tampa. You got used to the heat. He said, nope, that's going to be the big difference. But he's very happy to be here because, again, if I had Jensen on my left and I had Tristan Wirtz on my right, I'd be happy to be here too. Yeah. And again, he's starting to get a comfort level with those two guys. And that's the big thing. It's all about communication on the offensive line. It's the toughest position to coach. You got 5 guys that got to act as one, and if one of them fails, you're going to look bad.
Leo Haggerty joining us here, Amped Up Sports. Talk a little bit about Joe Tryon. I know, you know, this is another guy that's, you know, we talk, everybody wants to look at the rookies and how they're going to impact. And, you know, for me, it's the Tryons, it's the Anthony Nelsons, it's the, you know, the Will Golstons. It's some of these 2nd, 3rd, 4th year guys that maybe haven't had huge roles in the past that can really step up and give you more production because they're pros now. They know the drills. They know how to play in this league. And now it's just a matter of becoming the best player they can be and getting that opportunity. Those are the guys I think that are really going to step up.
Oh, you're exactly right, JP. Joe Tryon in particular. He has got to become what they thought he was going to become. And again, they look like they have no interest in bringing back JPP.
Yeah,
and
that's
again,
not happening.
Not a whole lot of tread left on the tire, and I get that. But, you know, they're looking at Joe Tryon and saying, okay, pal, it's your time. Stop and let this team better. And again, Will Golston. I asked this of Todd Bowles yesterday. I said, hey, here's a guy who was on the bubble almost every year. He was here until that 3-4 showed up. Why is that? And he said, hey, it's a perfect fit for him to be a 4 tackle, you know, not being that, you know, 3 tackle that Warren Sapp was, but that 4 tackle because of his length and because of his athleticism. And again, you put Golston, Vita Vea, and again, I really wish they would. I know they want to get Logan Hall in there. I know that, but I'll tell you what, I think Ndamukong Suh made that defense because you just had to double them every play.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess Suh's not coming back either, right? I mean, what do you sense there's any room left for him, or maybe his salary demands are too much? I mean, obviously he tweeted at Todd Bowles when Bowles got the gig, but you know, so far no movement from the Bucs.
You know what, JP? I think the problem right now is Gronkowski. They don't know what they're doing with Gronk, if he's coming back, how much money they got to put aside. I'm hoping that Jason Light has had a conversation with his agent saying, okay, here's what Gronk's going to need to come back. So that gives them an idea. So again, they don't want to have to sign Suh and then go to Gronk with money. Yeah, and he's not going for free. Let's be honest. That's not going to happen.
Right.
So, again, I think once the Gronk shoe falls,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll see what happens with the rest of these people.
Yeah, I mean, we're all kind of like, we all like, of course, Gronk's coming back. I mean, come on. It was like a little bit of a conspiracy theory yesterday when the baseball video came out. People are like circling, Tom's wristbands where it showed he was wearing a wristband with football plays on it. And he's like, oh, well, were he and Gronk out there throwing the football as well? They must have been. I'm like, oh my God. Look, he's coming back. But yeah, it's just a matter of what the number is right now. And if Gronk is like trying to, hold up the Bucs for, $10-15 million, that's kind of an issue. But we'd love to have him back, but come on.
Yeah, the problem is right now at tight end, it's going to cost you to bring him back.
Yeah.
You don't have those people anymore. So again, I'm hoping Jason Light and Gronk's agent have had some conversations that, okay, this is what needs to happen. This is what, he needs to come back, and he's not coming back until. And that's the big thing. This guy, he could probably show up the second week or the third week of training camp and go from there. And JP, there's another thing we haven't even talked about. Chris Godwin. I don't think we're going to see him before Thanksgiving. If he's not available to play, which I don't think he will be, I think you need to go out and get another wide receiver. And Julio Jones would be there. So, again, there's a lot of moving parts right now to that salary cap for the Bucs.
Yeah. Interesting that you think Thanksgiving, huh? See, I was talking with the doctor the other day about this. Stem cells have changed everything. We talk about the Rams running back that came back from the Achilles, Cam Akers, in 6 months. I mean, the stem cells are changing the recovery time tremendously for everybody. And the way Godwin works, I don't know. I mean, I'm no doctor, and I don't know how his injury was bad, but Thanksgiving seems like a long time. Oh,
yeah, you know what, JP? It would be probably about a full year from the time of the injury.
Yeah,
but you got guys like Adrian Peterson who are back in 6 months.
Yeah,
and then you got a guy with the Orlando Magic who has been out 2 full years.
Yeah.
So again, it all depends on the severity of that injury, and they're not going to tell us, it was really bad or whatever.
Right.
We kind of figured it was bad just looking at it and playing the game and knowing, okay, that's not a good thing.
You mentioned Julio Jones, by the way, and I know his name's being thrown around. I'm curious, what his fit would be here in this offense, because it's very predicated upon the skill players kind of getting open on their own. There's no scheming these guys open. And that's kind of why the Bucs, I think, had problems at the end with the injuries, because Tyler Johnson just could not get himself open, right? Because he was a little too slow off the line. Julio Jones going into his age 34 season. I don't recall the last time he actually was truly healthy. Do you still think he has anything in him to kind of get himself open in this offense?
Well, the one thing you got to understand about getting open and getting separation is when you're a tall receiver, as soon as you turn around, if the ball's thrown high and away from the defender, you've got separation.
Yeah.
And again, he's not coming in. They're not looking as a number 1 or number 2. They're looking as a temporary 3, which would be something that, again, that's something the Bucs are going to have to decide on. But if Godwin's healthy, you got Evans, you got Godwin, and then, flip a coin. Who's going to be that third guy?
Well, OBJ's still out there, right?
Yeah.
What's interesting about OBJ is, his reputation early on in his career was well-deserved. It seems like he's certainly matured tremendously. And clearly still has gas in the tank, big time, what we saw last year. So, obviously we can't pay him the big money that he wants, but if he's dealing with that injury as well, right? So he wouldn't be back until later in the season anyway. So it's kind of, I don't know. And it all depends on, when he comes back. So yeah, there are definitely options out there still, but can you imagine I know it's different when guys get injured and you can't go by their previous reputation, but can you imagine Evans, Godwin, Gage, Julio, Gronk, Hut. Let's go.
Well, you know,
Good luck.
let's
Good
go out in
luck
the
covering
backyard
those
and play.
guys.
Can I play basketball with that
Right.
crew?
You
I mean,
probably
Lord have
can,
mercy.
yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
It's a basketball team, and again, I think the one thing, JP, we want to look at is this is a copycat league.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that every one of 30 other franchises has asked the Rams for a copy of their game against the Bucs, because what Raheem did was genius. And again, he put those ends out so far. They were in what we call ghost 9. They were so far out that it forced the tackles. They had to run them around every time.
Yeah.
They chanced that the Bucs wouldn't run at that, and they didn't, which was amazing to me. And again, when you got a quarterback who wants to throw it, and you got an offensive coordinator who wants to throw it, you know, sometimes you go, okay, maybe they're not going to be patient enough just to ram it down our throat, which they started to do in the second half. But again, I think you're going to have to figure that one out too.
Yeah. You know, we look at this roster and we're going, okay, it's pretty much set, but you know, there still could be some ads. And we've seen that, you know, with Fournette and others, big names later on, you know, closer to the beginning of the season. So, you know, Jason Light may not be done, right? He may not be done.
No, not at all. And two things, JP. One, no state income tax.
Yep.
That's huge. And you're playing with a team that's got a legitimate shot of getting your ring.
Yeah.
That's two big things.
Yeah.
JP, one thing before we go real quick.
Yep.
We witnessed greatness the other night at Amalie, didn't we?
Oh, my God. Yes, we did. I mean, I'm guessing you're talking about Vasilevsky.
Oh, God, yes.
The big cat.
I mean, it was when did it hit you that they weren't getting a goal no
First
matter
period.
what they did? Even if they banked it off an official,
First
it
period.
wasn't going to happen.
I'm sitting. You know, I usually watch the games, especially now that Bally's isn't doing that. Sometimes I'm down there with Andrew, Chuck, and Chief on 128, overlooking the ice there. But we are on the 5th level, and we're right behind Vassy up top, so you really see the game and you can see the angles, right? And I'm sitting there with Bradley, excuse me, and you could just see his positioning. Like, he was seeing the puck so well. Every time the puck came at him, it was like right on his head. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was so perfectly positioned. Every time when the puck was shifting right, left, whatever, he was like a wall. And we both were like, yeah, they're not getting a goal tonight. And I get it. Just not getting it.
Yeah, it's funny because do you remember that commercial where they had the walrus in goal and you just couldn't get it in?
Yeah.
I just said he's like that walrus. You're not getting by. And my hockey guy Jim Thies, who was a former collegiate goalie, said he has never seen a more technically perfect goalie than Vasilevsky. He'll give you about a 4-inch window to get in, but if you don't hit it, he's going to stop it. And it's just phenomenal watching greatness, which what it was. And again, he stopped 49 shots, which is a record for the playoff shutout in regulation. But these guys are blocking shots. I mean, dear Lord, I've never seen them do that to that extent.
Yeah, it's a team effort, man. It's almost like when Braden Point went down, it was the circle the wagons mentality. All right, let's figure this out. How are we going to beat the highest scoring team since 96 without, our best two-way forward? And they devised a plan and they went out and they executed it to perfection. It was a clinic. It was an absolute code red implemented perfection. And unlike anything I've ever seen. And that hopefully they can continue this in the next round as they sit back in their hot tubs or cold tubs and wait on the Rangers and the Canes and everybody else too.
Beat yourself up for 7 games, absolutely. But I'll tell you what, JP, it was obvious Florida didn't watch any of the Toronto series because the Maple Leafs, give them credit, they charged Kucherov. They said he's not going to have time or space. And Florida gave him time or space, and 86 just picked them apart.
Yeah.
It was like watching a surgeon.
Yeah.
And it was just I was happy just to be there and watch it.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay. And the 2 goals they disallowed probably were the right calls.
Oh, yeah, they were. They were the right calls. It just added to the atmosphere of the evening, to be quite honest. It was, we were talking about this earlier, watching last night, St. Louis and in Colorado. What a game that was. Calgary and Edmonton. God. I mean, these NHL playoffs, I don't remember them being this entertaining, just in terms of the skill level that's on the ice, the up and down games that are going on, the back and forth, down 3-0. It's been incredible. I don't remember a postseason ever being like this, and we're right in the middle of it. We're witnessing it right there at Amalie Arena. I mean, that game Monday night was about as entertaining a sporting event that you're ever going to get, emotionally, and it's unbelievable. I mean, I've been covering sports a long time, and this is just really, really special stuff. Really special stuff.
Yeah, and it's funny. I don't know if you saw that, but one of the reporters asked, "Hey, the way to it's Shaq Barrett because he was at Game 3."
Yeah,
he goes, "Are they throwing down the gauntlet for you?" He goes, "Pretty much." If they come down back to back to back, that's putting a lot of pressure on us. He goes, "But I like pressure," so that's a good thing that they know what's going on in the community.
I love it. I love how all our teams support each other. It's fun stuff. All right, tell everybody how they can get your content, my friend.
Hey, go to Facebook, click on pages, and go to Amped Up Sports. We post a daily local and national update right around 10, 11 o'clock once those late hockey and late baseball and late basketball games get done. And I put out a Leo's Daily Memo from Friday through to Tuesday. Rob Creep does his Game On Wednesday, and Peter Blake does his Peter's Perspective on Thursday. So if you want sports, go to Amped Up Sports, click follow, and you'll get it every day.
All right, partner. Good stuff. We'll check with you next week. Thanks, buddy.
Take care. Have a good one.
All right. Great Leo Haggerty right there. Former NFL scout and teacher, as we know. All right. We'll take another quick break. And when we get back, we'll get into some NFL stories. Colin Kaepernick is back. And it looks like everyone in the NFL media has now decided that he is the best quarterback on the market right now and is a budding superstar. We'll chat about that when we come back. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new, healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucs, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799.
Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. If you're in the market for a new primary care physician, Christopher Lugo and his team welcome you. Just go to their website, BAMMC.com, and make an appointment. Spend a lot of time with you. They usually spend 45 minutes to an hour in your first visit and subsequent ones if you need it, because that's the way they do business. It's very personalized. It's not the, get you in 15 minutes, get you out, write a script. That's not the way they do business. They're going to take a personal interest in exactly what you're eating, what your exercise routine is, sleep, and all of it. They take a look at all of it to make sure that you're building your immune system and getting to optimum health. And they're using modern techniques, modern supplements to do all of that. So Christopher Lugo works with some of the top pilots at McDill and keeps them in tip-top shape, and he can do the same for you. So if you're looking for that cutting-edge philosophy and a doctor that's going to spend a lot of time with you and take a personal interest in you, Christopher Lugo is the man. So check it out at BAMMC.com. Make an appointment and see for yourself. That's BAMMC.com. So we're just checking out in the break here as the folks on Get Up talk about Colin Kaepernick and Lamar Jackson, who is not at OTAs and has not signed a new contract yet. And Kaepernick worked out for the Raiders, and we'll see if the Raiders sign him as their backup quarterback to Derek Carr. He has not played in the league since 2016, 2017. It's been a long, long time. I hope he gets the opportunity. I really do. I hope they sign him. I hope he gets an opportunity. And, I've said many, many times on this, the narrative on Kaepernick seems to change. I don't know. We've talked about it so much. When you go back and look at the situation and how it all unfolded, and the fact that his teammates were pissed off at him in San Francisco and felt like that he had quit on them, and he was not playing well. He was not doing the things, and this is according to those reports. Then this is according to what the teammates said. We remember Jay Glazer doing his reports on that, and it's turned into this. Nobody's ever going to let Colin Kaepernick play again. It is what it is. So this is why I've said for the last few years, somebody please sign him. Somebody please give him an opportunity. Good for him. Hope he can make it back and see what he's got. I'm from a football standpoint, I don't think he's the guy that he used to be. And not many players are, especially when you've been out of the league this long and you're that old.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to get out of him at this point, but I feel like as a nation, we've in the NFL as a whole, I feel like we have, at least we've come around more to kind of developing our thoughts and everything of what he was doing in 2016. Like at the time, we all had this like crazy reaction to it, right? And myself included. Even as a high school student, I was like, trust me, I was banging the drum. This is just, I get all that, okay, and I understand. But I think as time goes on, you kind of develop your thoughts.
Yeah,
you do more research, you listen more to what people are actually saying and sympathize. And I have personally done that with Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
So it's not about the message or anything that he did like that. I fully support that. And I think the NFL, I mean, they've taken steps to support it. If they're really about it, if one of these owners or GMs really about it, sign him right now. Because I think even with the layoff, you're not going to convince me there's 32 backups in this league and third stringers and fourth stringers that are better than him, obviously. But it obviously comes with the attention that it's going to draw. It's always going to be a camera in his face. I know some teams probably don't want that for their backup quarterback. I get it. But I think at this point, it's time to get him back in the league.
Well, if he truly wants to be in the league and do what it takes to be in the league, he didn't really show that his last couple of years. He was offered a starting job in Denver, and said it wasn't enough money. He was offered a full tryout with all teams there at the Falcons facility, and he didn't want to sign a waiver that he wasn't going to sue the NFL again, and took his talents to another field. It just seems like this. It's so much about him and not about football. And if you're, that's one of the number one things about a backup quarterback. You don't want, they're not where you want all the attention focused. It should be on other parts of your team. So it's going to be a distraction. There's no doubt about that. But at this point, I hope somebody signs him because it's a distraction to the league, and the league's got a lot of issues right now. This Deshaun Watson thing is not going away. And when you listen to the women talk about him on the Real Sports interview, we played it yesterday, that's going to resonate. It's going to resonate with a lot of people, and as well it should, because this is what we've been waiting for, to hear from some of these victims. The NFL's got a lot of off the field issues right now, and if this can, I don't know if it helps or it hurts. Does it help or hurt? Do you bring him back? Does that heal some wounds? Does that help the NFL? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of the stuff he's done off the field from 2016 to 2022 now, not pertaining to the social justice stuff, but just his kind of attitude towards getting back into the NFL. Like, wasn't a fan of what he did with the whole tryout that they organized with him. I think that's where I might have jumped off the ship and said at the time, okay, this guy doesn't want to play.
He doesn't want to play.
Because if he really wanted to play, the NFL gave you a prime opportunity, which they don't give to everybody else. And I get it.
Never given to anyone else in history.
But you have to kind of be, reminding of, like I said, everybody changes over time, and maybe they understand where they went wrong. And I think Kaepernick now, to his credit, he has said it over and over again. I will be the backup. Like, I will do that. He's over being the starter. He just wants an opportunity. And the NFL stands for opportunity. And we talk about it all the time. We're giving guys opportunity who have beat women on video.
Yeah.
On video.
Yes.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, let's be honest here. Colin Kaepernick being critical about the NFL and doing a social justice campaign while on the job, is that really that much worse than people who have beat women on video who are still playing in this league?
No.
I think sometimes we have to check our priorities on that. So I understand people who get
or sexual assault.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I understand why people get all up in arms with the Kaepernick thing. I've chose to move on from all that. That's been 6 years. It's crazy to think it's been 6 years since that all went on.
Yeah.
6 years. I think we have a society have moved on from that. And if a team wants to sign him, by all means.
It's like I've evolved in a lot of that conversation as well. I still don't think it's the time and the place to do what he did, but he has every right to do it. And I've always said that. He has every right to do it. I don't think it's the time and the place. I don't think as a starting quarterback, those are, Brady has kind of been the template. If you're a starting quarterback, your life is all about football. It's all about making your team better. It's all about minimizing distractions. Listen, social justice obviously is something that's way more important than football. Let's just be honest about that. But I think there's a time and a place and a way to do it. Even Jim Brown, his initial thoughts on this subject were, that's not the time and place to do it. You're doing your protest all wrong. And we can go back and litigate all that or talk about it but we've all been through it. The bottom line is, to me, it was always about Colin Kaepernick as the player. Do you want him as a player in the way that he was handling his business? And my answer was always no. No, if you're not going to be first one in, last one out, and it's all about making your team better, that's the job and a leader of the NFL. If your priorities are other than that, just from a football standpoint, and I know, as I mentioned, social justice things are bigger than that. If I'm your employer, that's not what I'm looking for. Isn't that fair? I'm not saying you exile the guy. I'm not saying he's not allowed to ever play in the league again. I just, as a player, I don't think he presented himself as something that a franchise wants to have as their quarter. And plus, his play had tailed off so dramatically. He was awful. Once the league caught up to him and the way he was playing, like they always do, in those certain systems, and if you can't adjust to the way they're playing you're not a starting level quarterback. It's an evolution in this league.
I think the talk,
and nobody ever talks about that.
I do think the talk that he was just downright awful. Like, the team was downright awful.
The team was awful. I agree.
The team was downright awful.
They lost a lot of pieces.
The bottom line is, I've seen a lot of bad quarterbacks start games.
Oh yeah,
in that time frame.
Oh my God,
my
yes.
goodness. Nathan Peterman still has a job, for crying out loud. Might be the worst quarterback I've ever seen in started an NFL game.
Yeah,
that's my whole point. I feel like as a society, I think we still have a lot of work to do, clearly.
Yeah.
But we've come a long way, I think, still in people accepting social justice and supporting it and sympathizing. And I think if you're the NFL and a society, it just seems kind of silly at this point to continue this with it. It just does.
But are you saying that he's been blocked because of his social justice?
It's part of that,
or because of him as a player.
I think it's part of that. I think all of them could kind of live together in the same field. It's part of that. People just don't like the stance, and we've already talked about the white owners who are stuck in their ways. We've already established
that needs to change more.
The declining play, I don't think, really comes into it as much because, again,
as a backup,
it's fine, and
a
borderline fringe starter, which I think he was at the time that he was ousted from the league. A lot of it comes to being the backup and having the attention on you is what they don't want. And I think the actions that he's kind of taken in the time, these 6 years off the field, going after the NFL, I think that kind of steered people away as well. I think that is probably the crux of it more than his actual play.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard for employers to say, okay, I'll hire you, even though you sued me. And, we gave you whatever the number is, 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 million, whatever it is. And now I'm going to hire you again. And you may start. I mean, what if the Raiders bring him on and he becomes this, every time something happens in the world of social justice, which is like every day, right? In this world, here come the gaggle of reporters running to the backup quarterback to get his thoughts on this last school shooting, police shooting.
Here's the thing. It does too. I think
that's not, just honestly, that's not good for your football team.
Beyond that, here's the thing that it creates, depending on where he ends up. If he goes to Las Vegas, whatever. I think highly of Derek Carr, right? But let's be honest. Derek Carr, if you ask 100 people your opinion on Derek Carr, 50 people are going to like him. 50 people are going to go, I don't think he's that great, right? I think he's in that probably category amongst fans and people in the NFL. Not me. If Derek Carr throws like a 3-interception game or something, you already know the noise would kick up right away.
100%.
Which I think is unfair, would be unfair to Derek Carr, because Derek Carr, I think, has done so much for that team in bad situations, made the playoffs last year with that team in that situation with the whole John Gruden thing. So that would happen. And then, like, this tweet right here to me is what I don't agree with.
Okay.
This is from Mike Florio, go figure, who thinks he'd be better than every option on the Seahawks, Panthers, and the Texans, and then even said that he would be better than Tua for the Dolphins.
I've always questioned his football acumen.
I don't know how you. I don't know how you can make that go that far with it. And I like Tua. Come on. I mean, I think Tua is overhated too. Davis Mills for the Texans. Don't sleep, by the way. He's one of my big sleepers this year. I don't see how you could say Colin Kaepernick would just walk in and be better than him.
This is why I want him to play.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to
play.
see it, but I don't think these are statements that you can just definitively put out there like he's better than XXXXX than these guys who are like actually in the league right now and that are much younger.
Can you imagine if tomorrow he was signed by Seattle and they made him the starting quarterback? Like, can you imagine the media attention? Like, first of all, with Russell Wilson gone, is anybody going to watch a Seahawks game? Put Colin Kaepernick in, they'll be watching.
I still think that's his best. I still think that's his best landing spot.
I do too.
Because I mean, if you're looking to get playing time, is anybody really going to convince me that Drew Lock's playing 17 games this year?
And I always said this. Your football team, your quarterback, especially as the face of your football team, should match the culture of your market. I think it really works well. Like Big Ben in Pittsburgh, Dan Marino, Miami. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Flashy, flashy, and then Big Ben, gritty. I think it's a good match. Tom Brady, hardest working quarterback in the business. Busts his ass, totally committed. Blue collar community, Tampa Bay, good fit. Seattle, Colin Kaepernick, very woke. Very, that community is very, very liberal, very woke. Good match. They would support him tremendously well. I think that would be the greatest support system with him. They are completely. I don't even know who's going to start there. Why not him? Why not give him a shot? He goes to Las Vegas. He's got no shot. In terms of starting until Carr gets hurt. So I don't know. I think I agree with you. Seattle would be a great fit for him. Now Lamar Jackson is not at OTAs. I don't know what mom's doing with the contract. I don't know. His mom's his agent. If you don't know that, like he should not step on the field until he has this contract. I mean, in OTAs, he should not. I said that for a long time, but evidently now I guess there's some rift in the organization. I don't know, but that's a deal that needs to get done, like tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know what you're waiting on at this point with Lamar Jackson. The guy's got an MVP. I thought he might even been better the year after he won the MVP. He gets you to the playoffs every year. You see
ultimate leader, ultimate teammate,
off the field, on the field,
best of the best,
just a world-class human being. Honestly, I don't know why we prolong these things. Like, you're gonna have to. Like, are you really talking right now amongst yourselves, going, man? I don't know if Lamar Jackson's our quarterback. Like, I don't know. I think he might break down. I think the whole notion about the running quarterback, like, yeah, do you have to change your way in the playoffs, I think, to win? I do. I saw Lamar Jackson in the playoffs against Tennessee a few years ago, and he looked like a deer in the headlights. I got that. Kyler Murray last year, I got that. You do have to alter your play, but that doesn't mean you don't pay the guy for what he gets you. He's an MVP. There. He's an MVP.
He's a franchise quarterback.
He's a franchise quarterback. I know one when I see one.
And by the way, I don't think mom's going in there to break the bank. So, her new representation company can show the contract to everybody, prospective clients. It's just not working that well. He's going to do something that's going to be fair and probably more team friendly than if he were represented by, one of the big dogs, right? I mean, I don't know that for a fact. She might be asking for $1 billion. I don't know.
And the fact that the guy just wins football games. I have it right here. 37-12 as a starter. 37-12.
Come on.
I don't think there's another quarterback, if I'm correct, or if I'm mistaken, that has a better record since they entered the league than Lamar Jackson. I don't think so in that time. 37-12.
Be hard to find somebody.
Yeah, and 5 of those came last year. So before that, do the math, he only had lost 7 football games in his first 3 years. 7.
I mean,
like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, I mean, he's an MVP.
Like, in my opinion,
has there been another MVP that hasn't gotten a second contract?
In my opinion, like, if the Cardinals are holding off on giving Kyler Murray $50 million, given what is going on with that situation, I kind of understand.
Totally. This is completely
different. Like Kyler
this
Murray,
dude's actually done.
Yeah.
I mean, done something.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson has an MVP to his name, is the winningest quarterback in the NFL in the regular season since he got into the league. And Kyler Murray just got to the playoffs finally and totally collapsed down the stretch and in the playoffs.
Off injured.
And I think he's a little odd as a leader.
Super small, leadership qualities very much in question. He's immature. He's just immature. And we've seen it in his body language, etc. Look, I love the dude's talent. I freaking love watching him play. Yeah. You know me, I've been a huge Kyler Murray fan, but it takes so much more to be a great quarterback in this league. And some of those intangibles he needs to grow into. No question about it. But Lamar Jackson, and it's the Ravens need to step up and do the right thing. It's what they need to do.
Yeah. 4 years in, I think enough is enough now.
I don't see it happening. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll reset a couple of the topics here. I got a great story I want to get to. There have been new pyramids in ruins found in the Amazon. I love this stuff. I freaking live for this stuff. It's like ancient alien stuff, like teed up. We'll hit you with that and some other stuff when we come back. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
You know, I love my co-host takes on so many things. Makes me laugh. We'll get to it here in a second. Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Also, the Golden Diamond Source, the great folks over at GDS. Was in there just the other day. Man, it is like so many beautiful things in there and bling, bling, bling. If you want to get your bling on, and guys, if you're looking for those baller watches, they got a great selection there, new and used. If you got some jewelry that you're not wearing, or your lady's got some jewelry she's not wearing, been sitting in that jewelry box for a long time, like broken earrings, this, that, and the other. Gather it all up. You better ask her first, like what she's not wearing. You don't want to, just go in there and start grabbing stuff. Probably a bad idea. And then take that old stuff, go in there and get what they're going to give you the highest price for it. I mean, gold prices are high, and then you can buy something new and shiny. Excuse me. So check it out. It's the Gold and Diamond Source. They've got 0% financing. If you're looking for an engagement ring, want to pop the question this summer, that'd be a great idea as well. They've got the greatest selection and a great staff that will make you feel so ultra comfortable when you go in there. It's real easy. My man Nick did it. They take you in there, show you everything, tell them what your budget is, come out with a great ring. And it's I don't understand. It's very, very stressful at the beginning, but that's what they do. They make it not stressful. So head on in there. Tell them JP sent you. 3800 Almerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. I'm sorry. I got this tickle in my throat. It's I'm going to blame it on the Saharan dust storm that's coming across. Happened last year. It's like for a month and a half, I couldn't stop coughing. It's terrible. Put my mic down while I cough this thing out. Take it from there. Sounds good, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound good? That was rich. God, I hate that thing. You don't get that?
No.
Really bothers me.
Just going to wait till you gather yourself here.
All right, so I teased this. They just found this new, I don't even know what you call this. It's a large-scale early urban settlement in the Amazon. So they have this new laser technology from space that they can look into these huge, dense forests now in the Amazon and Sri Lanka, Vietnam, and all these other places, and they can find these structures that have been hidden by these, vegetation for 1,000 years. And they're finding some incredible structures. And they found this development in the Amazon from the Kasarabi culture from around AD 500 to AD 1400. So think about what was going on in the world at that particular time. These mofos built a huge, approximately 4,500 kilometers. So that's what, 2,700 miles.
Journalism majors are not math majors.
Yeah.
No.
It's freaking big. And they built pyramids and settlements, pyramids that were up to 8 stories tall. What they call conical pyramids, large settlement sites surrounded by ranked concentric polygonal banks, and represent central nodes that are connected to lower ranked sites by straight raised causeways that stretch over several miles. Massive water management infrastructure composed of canals and reservoirs complete the settlement system. So these guys had this humongous, like we're talking hundreds of miles in diameter of pyramids, roads, canals, reservoirs in 500 AD. Like, how does that work? Incredible stuff. So I guess they're going to try to, get in there now and unearth some of this stuff and really look at it. And, from an archaeological dig standpoint, I think this is absolutely fascinating stuff. There's so much, we think we know of everything that's happened in history. There's so much that we don't know. I mean, whether it be in the bottom of the oceans or even in these densely, did you see that thing the other day with the sharks that swim next to the underwater volcano that can live in these extreme heats? I mean, it's crazy.
I didn't, but I tell you right now, I don't go in.
I love stuff like that.
I don't go in oceans. I am definitely terrified of the ocean and what is down there, what is lurking, what we don't know. Because I've heard we only discovered like 6% of the entire ocean is what my
that's what we're
whatever
told.
You call it, sources tell me.
Yes, yeah.
So, and I've seen not Jaws, not that. I've seen the Meg. Have you seen the Meg?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I know it's fake, I think, but the whole entire plot doesn't sound too fake to me.
No.
It doesn't sound outside of the pale that there's some kind of barrier down there and these like big ass sharks are just underneath it.
Yeah.
Because they can live that cold.
There's some of that going on.
I swear there's something out there. I don't want to be the one to discover it. You couldn't pay me $1 million. You could not put a price tag on it to put me in one of those things to go down there.
Yeah.
You cannot put a price tag on it for me. And,
it's crazy.
Yeah, and that goes for space too. You can't put a price tag on it for me to go to space either. That also creeps me out.
There's so much that we don't know that's out there. But I think it's interesting that they can find this stuff. And they're going to find a lot more too. When they go to investigate, like, come on, man, in that area of the world, you know what they did in that area of the world? They found lots of gold. So that in that settlement in there somewhere, there's a pot of gold. There's a lot of gold in there somewhere. And these people are going to go in there and they're going to try to find it. It's and I'll watch that documentary. I'll watch that. The treasure hunting thing. I love that. Sucker for that as well. Love all that stuff. All right. Here's another thing I saw that I tweeted out. You see the new or the first ambidextrous quarterback. Have you seen this cat?
I did.
He's 14 years old. He can throw with either hand. Pretty good. I mean, he looks like a good sized kid. And like, how does that work? Like you can't play with two balls. Like Bobby Bowden used to ask, can you play with two balls? But it's interesting.
They would immediately make a rule just for him. Immediately. There's no way they would be like, but it would be great for him in particular, because if he's scrambling, you've seen some guy quarterbacks like Mahomes does it a lot.
Yeah.
I think Brady did it maybe a few times where they're going down and they toss one with their left or throw it.
Yeah.
I mean, what a nice trait for him to have, but just throw one way. That's my opinion on it.
I guess, from an RPO standpoint, a lot of teams won't call, certain rollouts to the right, certain rollouts to the left because it's a little bit harder. He would be able to get the ball out quicker to a certain side if he's using both of it. It'd just be interesting to see. And he's already got major college offers.
He's got major college offers already.
Yeah. But I wonder if they'll say, nah, we're just, you're not going to be a switch hitter. You got to just throw with one arm. We're not going to do this back and forth thing. Or would they try and develop him and use it as an advantage? I do think it would be somewhat of an advantage to be able to throw with your outside arm when you're rolling left, etc.
Didn't I read Alabama's one of the teams?
Yeah. Nebraska, Alabama.
I'm just like, could you imagine Nick Saban coaching this kid?
I think it's interesting. I mean, I think that it would be to some degree an advantage. I don't know. Well, it'd be interesting to find. How old was he? You think he's like a sophomore now?
Was he 14, you said?
I think, 14 or 15.
If he's 14, he's probably still a freshman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big – are they getting bigger now?
Yeah.
I didn't look like that when I was 14. Let me tell you right now.
No, the kid's been working out, no doubt about it. All right, other stuff we got to get to today. What have we left out? Oh, did you see the comments of James Worthy?
No, I did not.
Let me see if I can find this. I retweeted this out. Basically, the philosophy. Somebody asked him about the playoffs, and how boring they've been. And for the kids out there, if you don't know who James Worthy is, maybe go look that up on YouTube. One of the greatest power forwards in the history of the game. I guess he was a power forward.
I thought he was
6'9". I think you'd call him a small forward now, but like he was like one of the first point forward. I mean, he could handle, had great shots, great low post moves. Just a great player all the way around. He said, "quote All they do is practice threes, lift weights, get tattoos, tweet, and go on social media." Is that the biggest boomer take ever?
Yeah, that definitely sounds.
Does that qualify for a boomer take?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Your thoughts?
Listen, I err mostly on the old school way of playing.
You do.
I clearly always am like that. To an extent, like there's have you seen like the whole JJ Redick, Bob Cousy beef right now?
No.
Because JJ Redick last week said, because I think Mad Dog Russo was trying to say that Bob Cousy was a better point guard all time than Chris Paul, I think. And JJ Redick just absolutely lost his mind and said Bob Cousy, which this is a popular take. Bob Cousy played against plumbers and electricians. because a lot of them were plumbers and electricians.
But it's all relative.
It's all relative. And Bob Cousy, he clapped back kind of and said, I didn't know that Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell and Elgin Baylor and Jerry West and
Oscar Robertson.
And he went on and on. Bob Pettit, all these guys. He's like, I didn't know they were plumbers and electricians. But I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of agree with JJ on that. I mean, I go back to a certain point. The 80s to me is when I could start comparing basketball.
Yeah.
Anything before that, I can watch it in black and white and go, no. No. Like, no.
Yeah, it was a different
listen,
game.
I didn't watch Pistol Pete Maravich play, but you're not going to convince me this dude is definitely a better offensive player than like Dwayne Wade or some other shooting guards that we've seen in the last 20 years. No shot.
Have you gone back and watched Pistol Pete? Have you watched some of the tape?
It was like 50 years ago. We have evolved as humans.
Well, but it's all relative.
Pete Maravich.
It's all relative.
Pete Maravich over Dwayne Wade? No.
Oh, yeah. No. If they had the 3 when Pistol Pete was playing, he would have averaged 10 more points a game.
Jerry West wouldn't get a shot off in today's NBA.
Come on now.
No.
Come on now. The logo.
No. He shouldn't even be the logo anymore.
I think that great players of any era would have been great players in any era. Like, I mean, it's just different. It's relative. I mean, humans are bigger, stronger, faster, better weight training, better diet, better techniques, better all that stuff. But the great ones would find a way just because of their mental makeup to be great in any era.
You can make the argument, I don't know if Michael Jordan was the one that said this or somebody else around that era. It was like, y'all all say, well, the game's 3-point now, we wouldn't survive. Well, if they were in the youth academies like they are now and they're doing nothing but 3 points, of course they would adopt to it at some point.
Right.
Because I think people knocked Michael Jordan because he wasn't the greatest 3-point shooter in the world, but was the game really predicated on 3-point shots
No.
in the 80s and 90s?
No. No, and he worked on, his jump shot was not great coming out of college, and he became a great mid-range jump shooter. So if the game was being played the way it is now, Jordan would spend every offseason becoming a great 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
Within 2 years, he would be shooting 42%.
He would be just fine. The sport where this argument is interesting is in like hockey, for example. Because, I think a lot of people have this argument relating to, Wayne Gretzky. Would he come into the league now and do what he did? The answer is no, because, again, the goalie – this is probably a great question for Chief, probably. He would probably tell you the goalie pads now. There's no way Wayne Gretzky is scoring 90-something goals in today's NHL, 200 points. No. But he would still be just fine in the league. It wouldn't be that outrageous. Yeah. And I think I use Jaromir Jagr, for example, because he played in the 80s and 90s. And then he played in 2015 and scored 65 points as a 45-year-old.
Yeah.
And that told me, okay, so that means the great ones would have found a way in today's game. If he's doing that at 45 in today's game, he would have been fine.
His skill level, Gretzky's skill level, would have just transferred and it translated anywhere.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. But I mean, you just look at the size and the speed of these, Nate and McKinnon. I mean, these guys are giants.
The transverse is if you put McDavid, McKinnon, Matthews, mostly I would probably say the top 50 talented players in the NHL right now. If you put them in the 80s, they're probably all putting up those numbers.
Yeah.
I think that's different because the 80s was wild for the NHL.
Yeah. And the other part, and when you talk about basketball in the NBA, there's a trade-off to it. I think the game is better now than it was in the 80s in terms of athleticism. There was a time, when the bad boys came up and then, the New York Knicks followed suit. It just became this, brawl underneath, and anybody who goes into the paint is going to get, destroyed. That's not basketball to me. That's not, to me, there should be a level of physicality, but it got to a point where just okay, we're just going to be. And look, I'm biased. I was always a Lakers fan. It was the bad boys. It was that's not talent. That's just it's Bill Laimbeer being a thug.
Hey,
come on, get the hell out of here.
Talent's got to find a way to do something else to stick.
Yeah,
but I love guys like that.
Yeah, I'd rather see it. I'd rather see the beautiful game. I'd rather see guys. So, but back then, I mean, to their credit, they were like, Steph Curry, are you kidding me? He wouldn't survive back in the 80s.
Okay,
he'd get destroyed, he'd get broken in half.
Well, here's the thing.
And I'm like, well, you know what? That doesn't necessarily mean it was a better game, because I want to see this guy shoot from 35 feet and make it. I want to see him be able to drive the lane and not get, decapitated.
Steph Curry would
That's
run
not
he would
not
run circles
basketball.
around there. I think he'd run circles. But nowadays though, you have I feel like every game there's always a segment on Get Up or some show. Was this a dirty play? Was this a non-basketball play? And then I see it and I go, please. No.
Yeah, it's playoffs.
Now we're
there are no layups in the playoffs.
We're like
soft.
Yeah.
Soft.
Oh, and
I think there's a balance to that.
Oh, and by the way, the Celtics won last night. There you go. There's your NBA news.
In an aesthetically awful game.
Yes,
it was horrible to watch. I tuned in for a little bit. I'm like, I can't watch this. Going back to the hockey game. Kidding me? All right. Our thanks to Leo Haggerty, who joined us today. Appreciate that, Leo. Nice discussion on lots of different points. Bucs, Lightning, and him being an ex-school teacher. You want to check that out. Great job, Nick Geddes. Thank you very much. Great. Thank you very much for listening. Remember, we're on every day, 10 to noon, live on Twitter and on YouTube. And we will go Rays, Yankees tonight. Go Rays. Talk to you tomorrow.